Oh, wait, I'm sorry, Benjamin. I'm on TV right now. This is Tea with Tosh. I am Tosh Berman. Amy Gerstler, poet. And Benjamin Weissman. What are you, Benjamin?
Fiction writer.
Fiction writer, yes. Yes, very fictional. Do you have any fiction to read, actually?
Yeah, I brought some.
Would you like to read some fiction?
Right away?
Well, we can talk a little bit if you wish. It depends what you want to do.
Well, why don't we talk first?
Okay, let's talk first. What year were you born? No, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about why are you a writer? How come you're not like a plumber or an electrician?
Oh.
Amy, can you answer that for him?
I can't answer anything for anybody.
That reason, huh?
I don't know. I can't answer that.
Well, why don't you read us a little story?
All right. I'll read the shortest thing possible.
Okay.
This is taking up a lot of time.
That's okay. It's my time. It's your time. It's everybody's time.
Okay. This is called The Libertines. After school, I asked Matt to trip me out. He said, okay. We messed around in front of the 7-Eleven asking people to buy us beer. We smuggled the brew over to a place by the Valley of Enchantment. We drank, exchanged spikes and half-gloves, played tapes, mostly Motley Crue. When it got real late and we were as bombed as we could get, Matt shackled me up in leg irons and handcuffs to this 10-ton milk crate. I said, be rude to my skull and unleash me in the morning. He picked up a crowbar and said, you will never survive a kiss from Satan. He pounded me on the head. Nor will you escort Nadine to the gala. He struck me again and walked away. Matt came by in the morning. I don't know why, because I was really dead. So that's short enough to be a poem.
Well, gee, what is the difference between a poem and a prose piece?
Oh, there's really no difference. Just depends what you want to call it.
Is it sort of like the look of the text, you think, more than anything else?
I think maybe a prose, yeah, how it looks on the page. Also, I think if it's a prose poem, it could be a little more nonsensical, and if it's fiction or fiction, it has to be a little more maybe linear, a little more forthright, and as a narration. Well, it explains it.
It puts everything to a T, I think, to the exact T. Amy, how come you don't write prose?
I do.
You
I
do?
write lots of it, yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, gee, that ruined my whole premise of the show.
She won
I'll go home
second
now.
prize for a Mademoiselle fiction contest.
Did you really?
Yeah, recently.
Really?
Yep, got my name in a Glamour magazine.
Really? Has this been like a life ambition to win that award?
It's a life ambition to get paid money for writing, and I got some money for it, so that was nice.
Congratulations.
Well, thanks.
When did you win this?
A couple months ago.
Great. Is it the new issue?
It was in last month.
I missed last month.
They didn't run the story, though, because it was only second prize. They ran the first prize story, and mine I got a little paragraph mention, but I got a check.
But it was stiff competition.
Unusual.
Because the winner was Michael Chabon, who's this guy who's been paid the most of any first novel in the history of American novel, $150,000 for an advance for Mysteries of Pittsburgh, which instantly was bought by some kind of movie company.
Like Paramount or something like that?
Yeah, and he's like 24, Irvine.
You think it was rigged?
No, being in the right place at the right time.
Okay.
He also, I haven't read very much of his stuff, but the little bit I have read, he seems quite talented.
Okay, well, he deservedly won the first prize.
Yeah, stiff competition.
Well, I want to know, you guys do a lot of readings, and I wonder how you feel about public readings in general. Do you prefer, do you need to read in public? I mean, could you just satisfy this being in print?
Who are you asking?
Both of you.
So we should answer at the same time?
You can do it at the same moment.
I think we feel similar, which, I mean, we've talked about it a lot, which is that writing is to be, read in print, and books, make books, and publish and get paid, or if you can't get paid, but readings are kind of depressing. There's a certain, I think when you're starting out, they're exciting, but I think if you begin to get serious, it's basically kind of a waste of time.
Why do writers do readings?
Maybe you could answer that half.
To get money, to publicize their work. Some of them enjoy it. I think that it's a sad fact that in America now people don't read very much.
Yes.
And in order to sort of lure them into picking up a book. Often they have to be exposed to the work in another way. Either there has to be a flashy cover like a record album.
Yes, I noticed that, you know, like in bookstores.
Yeah, or nothing bad about that. Or readings.
Yeah, it's funny, there's all these novelists whose names I'm not going to mention because I can't remember their names, to be quite honest. But
Charles Dickens? No.
Yes, Charles Dickens is one of them. But these young writers from, I guess, from the New York area who have novels out, and their whole graphic and their whole look is very, not contrived.
That's slick and...
Yeah, I'll use the word contrive, I guess. Sort of contrived, and there's like an identity.
You mean like Bret Ellis, Tammy Janowitz?
That's the names I couldn't remember. Yes, yes. And the guy, who was it, Bright
Jamie
Lights?
Gurney.
Yeah.
Yes. And they all know each other, don't they?
Yeah, they all have the same agent.
They have the same agent,
Yeah.
and they're around the same age.
You know all the dope, don't
Well,
you?
it's in the paper. Over and over again, it's in the paper. It's in all New York papers, and then 6 months later, eventually, LA Times. It hits the LA Times like shock, you know.
Yes.
Something happened in the world.
Yes. So what do you think? What do you think? Is there like a conspiracy or something of that sort?
Well,
These
not
people?
any more than there is in, like, I mean, in one of these articles they referred to that group of writers as the literary brat pack. So not any more than there's any conspiracy. Like, there's a bunch of young actors and actresses they call, it, you know.
Yeah.
And for a while there were a bunch of painters and visual artists and stuff in LA that they were calling Young Turks or something.
Young
like that.
Turks.
So it's just if you can make a little group out of something, you can package it and sell it. Michael probably talked about that one.
Yes. Yes. Michael Silverblatt.
So.
Yes. I find that very interesting.
It's marketing.
Yeah, it's marketing. Well, do you feel that poetry in general needs to be marketed? It's a heavy question. I was wondering.
It needs something.
Why is that? Why
does everyone think it's dried up and dusty and no one read it anymore?
Exactly. I have that image, I think that was poetry readers, that people who don't read in general, or people who read other types of... actually, people watch TV a lot, actually. I think that poetry is dried up. And I wonder why they think that poetry is so dull. Benjamin?
Well, it's just bad writers. I mean, it's not that the form's bad. A good writer will, you know, interest people. I think when people associate poetry with like, and that sort of like...
That was my last poem. I mean, I thought it was quite nice.
Or that, you know, but it's that odd monotone and that not a monotone, but this sort of that poetry harangue speech that sounds like, you know, sensitivity or like feeling.
Yeah, it's funny, when I wrote like stuff in high school, like poetry, everybody said, oh, you're writing lyrics.
Oh.
And I said, no, I'm writing poetry. I find it's strange that people like connect, when you're writing like poetry, they connect it to like lyric writing or something else. It's kind of strange. I don't know, it's very strange. Both of you are involved with Beyond Baroque, correct? Are you still involved?
We both work there.
Yes, and you're the reader, you coordinate the readings at the Beyond Baroque. And what does that consist of? What do you have to do?
Inviting writers to read there, or artists to perform there, or people to just, you know, speak or lecture.
Well, what is Beyond Baroque in the first place? Because we're talking to the general public who may not know.
Beyond Baroque is a non-profit literary arts organization that's about 18 years old, and it was established to provide a place for readings to take place and for writers and artists to meet, and the programming has expanded over the last few years to include the reading and performance series is one of the main thrusts, and they have a library and a bookstore. They do typesetting, they have music programs and art lectures and performance art and dance occasionally.
So, Beyond Baroque has sort of been like the main literary place in Los Angeles for years, decades, hasn't it? Since the 60s?
Yeah, it's close to 20 years old, and there are very few places like that. It's the only non-university affiliated literary center I think in California, and there's only about 7 or 8 places like that with a literary emphasis in the United States.
Well, how does Ruffian got a job there?
They know what's good.
Do you have to wear a tie to work there? Do you wear a tie?
They'll let you work there if you wear it.
Oh, that's okay. So Benjamin, okay, so do you actually choose the writers?
Yeah, I read a lot of books, and try to get my favorite people there.
Uh-huh.
And then a lot of people kind of submit work and try to weed through that and, get a broad section of stuff. I have a lot of writers there that are not my favorites, but who sort of represent a kind of thing that needs to be, spoken or something like that.
So it's not like just your taste alone. You sort of like
No,
sort of
no.
the wide spectrum
Yeah.
of everything.
Yeah, no, yeah. I like pretty strange things, and there's a lot of other kind of work that needs to be read too.
Uh huh. How long you been doing this for? You've been
4 years.
4 years. Well, congratulations. Did you get like a cake or anything? Your 4th year.
Got a raise.
You got a raise? Very good. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Amy, could you read a poem?
Sure.
I think it'd be wonderful. Don't you agree, Benjamin?
I was hoping you'd ask her to read a poem.
Oh, well, I think I will. We read a poem.
And this is called Innocence. Maple trees' sugary belief in the seasons. The smirk that snakes across the wooden Buddha's fat face, bragging he's achieved a petrified peace. The oak's elephant-like benevolence as an angry schoolboy carves surly sentiments into the thick skin of its trunk. The verdict of acorns. The unknowing mercy which runs, medicinal smelling, through feverish leaves' veins, while light blithely manufactures more and more of itself. Chlorophyll's force, its unassailable deep green justice, seeds forests everywhere, via ash-like airborne spores.
Great. Amy, how long, when did you first start writing poetry?
When I was a little kid.
Really?
Mhm.
And you never stopped since then?
I've done it off and on since then. I don't think I had any notions about doing it seriously, whatever that means, until after I got out of college.
Mm-hmm.
Because my parents kept pounding it into me that writing is a hobby.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a vocation, and it's not a profession or real life. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you think they treat like poets in this country like sort of like second-class Winnies or citizens?
What was that word you used?
Ninnies or citizens?
Ninnies.
Actually, if you play the tape
said
back, I think I
Winnies.
said something different. Did I say Winnies?
I don't know.
I'm not allowed to say Winnies on the show.
Well, they'll black out your mouth during that part. I don't think that writers in general are treated very well, but I think that right now, and I don't know what Benjamin would think about this, that it's a little bit easier if you write fiction in the United States. It's different in different cultures. There's some countries where poetry is more respected, and where writers are taken care of differently and respected. And I think it's kind of a humiliating time to be a poet.
I know, because I mention people that I'm a poet, and they go, they sort of give me that look, like sort of that Buster Keaton look, like, what?
It's sort of like saying, yes, I'm a beatnik.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, it's very strange. Benjamin, do you have that trouble too?
No, I thought it was the reverse, really. I think that, like, writers, it's sort of like a luxury, and it's sort of like saying I'm a queen,
Yes.
or I'm a king, or I'm a, it's sort of like being, I think, you say you're a writer, and they go, oh, this is so good. Oh, you must be so smart. It's so hard. You'll be alone, and typewriter, and you just sit there, and it comes out of in your head. Out of your head. Oh.
Is it lonely being a writer?
It's nice being alone. It's heaven.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's
Yeah.
good to be with people, and then it's great to have all this time alone.
Yeah, I'm pretty reclusive myself. The only way I really get out is like doing a TV show.
I see you at the movies all the time.
Okay, I'm in halftime in the movies, and I'm here.
I see you more at the movies than almost any person I know.
I go to a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You see any good films?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I can't remember.
We saw the Godard film.
Mate One was real good.
Mate One? Oh,
Mate
yes.
One, sales movie.
Uh-huh. About unions?
Yeah, I think it was wonderful.
Huh.
Cried during like a 10 or 15 minute stretch.
Did you?
Yeah.
You cry at movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were sort of whimpering at that Godard movie.
No. He makes me laugh.
Yeah, he's funny, isn't he? I'm trying to get him on the show.
You'd be good. You kind of look like him.
You know, I based this whole TV show on Godard aesthetics.
Yeah, that window sort of seems like it.
You
Actually, you
need a
should
few
have
more
this primary colors.
Primary colors?
That's it. Now we're going to sing. Yeah, he's got red, yellow, and blue in like almost every shot.
Must because he's pro-American.
Red, yellow, and blue?
That's not our...
Red,
not our
white.
color?
White.
Well, if you don't
yeah.
use bleach,
Oh,
perhaps.
that's right, it's white. Yeah, you're right, it is white, isn't it? Huh. I thought
That's a
that
good thing to not know, though.
Is it?
Yeah.
I have
Makes me
problems.
proud to be on your show.
I always have trouble with like memorizing colors, like flags and stuff.
You're not colorblind, are you?
No, not at all.
Lots of men are.
Are they really?
Amy's father's colorblind.
Yeah, and the way he dresses really shows it. It's wonderful.
Well, good thing it's not shown in San Diego.
But he never gets hit by a car because he wears like, you get green and orange.
Is it sort of like lime green?
Oh, it's like orange plaid shirt, brown and purple pants,
Yeah, I
green
can see.
sneakers, that kind of stuff.
Okay, here's sort of a TV host type of question. Do you feel the electronic media has affected writing in general?
I think that a lot of writers write things that they think might be able to be translated into film, and they have that looking over their shoulder, sort of like actors in L.A., you know, really doing these plays, hoping they can eventually do a Dove soap commercial, you know, and really cash in, or a McDonald's, when they're really not, you know, even though they're walking around going craft, New York, yeah, theater. I mean, I think that a lot of writers kind of are thinking about, you know, let's make a good screen. This is, you know, I can get it to the movies too. You know, you can even read a book and sense it.
You know, I just found out, you know, Lou Welsh, the poet, the famous dead poet, he used to work at an ad agency, and in fact he coined the phrase for Raid, "It kills bugs dead." He wrote that. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he served the one before this electronic media and sort of knew what was going to happen.
Yeah, I know a couple of poets who work, one in Chicago who works for an ad agency.
Really, to serve
Yeah,
coined
writing
phrases?
copy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's totally, is it totally impossible for a poet to just be a poet in this country? Does one always have to do something else?
You mean teach and stuff?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Ashbury teaches.
Yeah.
He gets like 80,000 a year or something, maybe get less, I don't know.
Uh-huh.
But it's
Okay.
profitable to sort of like, you know, do a day's work at a school and be a star
Uh-huh.
and make a you know, ton of dough.
Uh-huh.
But you could. I mean, he could probably live off the enormous, you know, money that he gets from just writing. He gets paid a lot.
I know, but it's amazing. It's like, I mean...
But he wants to live a higher life, and it's expensive in New York, and he wants to have a secretary, you know, and all that.
Did he have a secretary?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, he types up the poems for him?
Well, I don't know. I mean, someone that handles lots of business
You know,
and stuff.
take care of all your correspondence, arrange which day a week you're going to do interviews, that kind of
Oh,
stuff.
yes, yeah. Wednesdays. Wednesday's a good day to do interviews.
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle. I was going to ask you. I forgot what I was going to say. I just went blank. Wait, hold on. Something about Lou Welch. No. Yeah, I just went blank. Can you ask me a question really fast?
Sure. Well, I can answer your last question if you
Oh,
want.
yeah, please do.
I
I lost something he said. I lost contact.
Yeah,
on.
I don't think hardly any poets live off of that purely, and I don't see how they can. Maybe only like Rod McEwen or something. Otherwise, people teach or write art criticism or write other kinds of books, write, you know, travel books, things like that, or do things that are much less closely related to writing.
Oh, that's a question. What do you? How do you feel?
Filled up
I just came up.
Yeah. Maybe you need more tea.
I am so wired this morning. I just can't stand it. But how? Is there like a Los Angeles School of Writing, in your opinions? In your opinion too, and yours and yours.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that probably the most horrible writing in the city is probably, you could probably clump it all together and say it's something. But when people write about freeways, or like, you know, the foam at the beach, I mean, or, you know, or the pier, I mean, or Main Street downtown, I think it's just bullshit. I think good writers in Los Angeles are real different from each other, and they, you know.
You don't think of yourself as like Los Angeles writers? I mean, do you feel tied to this community that strongly?
Regional, no.
No.
But Amy.
No?
No, I don't either. Besides, there's so many people in Los Angeles who are from other places.
Yes, they're like all from other places,
Yeah,
majority.
yeah, mostly finding a native
Uh-huh.
is rare.
Huh.
People want to cut them up and put them under the microscope.
Yes, yes. Benjamin, do you have another story?
Yeah, I could just. Most of the stories are longer.
What are you reading from?
This is called Shiny.
Uh-huh.
Shiny International, and this one's.
That's like, and you had a subscription to that.
This story will take me about 45 minutes to read. Maybe I could read the first sentence.
Well, you could. It's a half-an-hour show. Can you just read faster?
Yeah, sure.
It's like reading.
Museum Boy. Today. This is called Museum Boy. I could also read the first paragraph. I mean, you know.
Well, read what, it's up to you. Think of it as your show. I'm just here, I'm a host.
Okay.
These are both your shows.
Here's like a section right in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, today I enjoy my father's scrambled eggs just as much as any other day. First he cracks the eggs into a bowl and pitches the runny shells at the sink. He never misses, but the egg whites streak the counter. I wipe that up. We're a team. Then with a fork and never with a whisk, he beats the eggs until they're frothy. He cooks the eggs loose, adding cheddar from the beginning so the cheese is integrated with the eggs instead of resting on top like a creepy sheet. It feels good to know the correct word for something. I remember when I first learned to read, I felt like a secret agent with wild chemicals. Anyway, this is a story about a boy who goes to the museum for the first time with his parents, and he has a great time and sees like real standard sculptures, but they're all, described by him. They're all sound real perverse and strange. And he sees a painting he likes of a girl by what is it? I forget who. Max Beckmann? No.
Oh, he's Spectator now?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Picasso?
Now I'm blanking out.
Marcel Duchamp?
My favorite German painter.
Max Beckmann. Max Ernst.
No. But anyway, it's of this little girl and she's naked.
Uh-huh.
And she's got giant ears and like a weird bow in her hair.
Uh-huh.
And it's at the Minneapolis Museum, the Walker, and the original one.
And how does it end?
No.
Otto Dix?
Otto Dix. Yay!
Oh, Max Otto Dix?
No.
Oh.
Anyway, he sees painting her and flips out and starts talking to her, and she kind of, in his mind, sort of comes to life and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's a story in that, but I wanted to sort of make it longer and make it be a novel, have him come back.
Do you want to write a novel?
Yeah.
Really? Are you working on one now?
No, I want to work on that. I want to make that a novel. But Amy's working on a novel.
You're working on a novel, Amy?
Amy's hair is blonde, but she dyed it black.
Yeah.
Really? This for today?
I wanted to match you.
Well, that's great. And he doesn't have any hair.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't. Can you give some a preview of your novel? Not reading, but this is what's...
Well, right now it's a complete mess, and I'm trying to teach myself to learn to write prose, and so I thought I'd start off small.
A small novel.
3/8-inch novel, as John Barth said.
Well, Amy, can you read a poem? Another one?
Sure.
That'd be terrific.
Moving
Would you like to
along
hear
real
another
well.
poem, Benjamin?
I really would. I'm so glad you asked her to read another poem.
Thank you, Benjamin.
This is called The Nature of Suffering.
Get that book cracked.
Yeah,
My back feels better.
Doesn't that?
Yes.
It's sort of like having your car full of
Yes,
gas.
absolutely.
The nature of suffering. We know so little about what matters, what lasts, what constitutes virtue, what defies logic by being steeped in feeling. It's impossible to keep oneself clean. Every thought is lecherous and dispensable. I know I'm not worth the gunpowder it'd take to blow me to limbo. You've said so often. Still, I can't leave. One couldn't trudge far through this bone-chilling melancholy. I don't care how impressive or fur-lined your credentials. Seclusion produces peculiar symptoms. A slumbering priestess suffers convulsions. She's you, trying to shake off the world's grip, even in her sleep. What am I to make of her glacial smile? Outward evidence of voluptuous suffering? The kiss that's been so long in coming, rumbling up from her erotic depths? I found her in a pitiable condition, much disfigured, but she had already chosen her road. Every step one takes is a kind of violation. If I'm permitted to continue, I must give up everything. I must be bled white.
Nice, very nice.
Cheerful one.
Yeah, you're very, you're like the #1 requested poet to be on this show. People approach me and say, why don't you get Amy on?
Oh, well, that makes me feel much less depressed.
All types of people.
Grandmas, mice,
Mice.
giraffes.
All types. Now, well, we only got 1 more minute. I have to ask you a 1-minute question. Okay, pay attention.
Getting close.
Yeah, this is a close question. Do you, are you influenced by other mediums of art, both of you? Like either like cinema or TV or painting?
Yes.
Yes, probably the newspaper the most.
Newspapers?
Yeah.
Is it because some of the stories or the imagery?
I like to write about murder.
Yeah, I know you do.
And so there's murder in every day.
Who's your favorite murder writer? Do you have a
I
favorite?
don't read any murder.
You don't?
I don't read
No
any
murder
fiction?
fiction?
No.
Oh. Well, how about you, Amy?
The way I work is I steal from other stuff, so I use lines from films, and
Yeah, I do
like
too.
Mickey Spillane, I
Uh-huh.
use him, the encyclopedia. I like old textbooks a lot because ideas have changed so
Uh-huh.
much. Like
Uh-huh.
I have an old World Book encyclopedia that I had when I was a kid, and it's full of the most beautiful, naive, so is National Geographic, and religious tracts, and
All that fun stuff.
yeah.
Well, I have to go.
Bye.
Oh, see ya.
Bye, Amy.
You're
It's a
such a
pleasure,
nice
Benjamin.
man.
Thank you. I've been told that by at least 1 or 2 people. And you're
Hey, who
you're one
was
of
supposed to be on the show besides us? You called us at the last minute.
Jean-Luc Godard.
Oh.
But he couldn't make it. Oh, I have to get going. World, I'll see you soon, very soon. Adios, goodbye.